Alright, YouTube, I'm about to react to this Fetch Your Life, Elden Ring, 15 things, 15 changes that need to happen in Elden Ring, Nightreign. I've been playing a lot of Elden Ring, Nightreign, like off my channel. Um, been having, love it. We're stuck, we're not stuck. We only fought the boss like twice. I don't call it stuck until it's about 10 times till you die. But we're on the boss where it makes you where he does madness damage. And he gives you like an option if you want to extra potion or something. Um Before the boss fight. I don't think he's too hard, but I don't know. I gotta fight him some more times. But 15 things that needs to change. I give you one that needs to happen. Give us iconic boss fights. Um, I want to fight Millennia with my friends that's never played Elden Ring before. They'll never get to experience fighting her or fighting just all the iconic Elden Ring bosses that we fought in the regular Elden Ring. Give us some of those boss fights. Let us fight those bosses from the regular Elden Ring game, and um let us fight them with our friends. That's something I would want, and more maps too. Exactly, but yeah,
Video. I want to
I'm
talk
done
about
yapping.
15 things that I want to see added to Nightreign over the next year or so
I'm yapping.
that could drastically improve this game. I'm having a blast playing this game. I've got over, I think, 300 hours of this game
300 hours
pre-release on PC and what I've been playing on PlayStation 5 since then. But there are simply
300
things that I
hours.
think could make this game even better
Wait.
than it currently is. So let's get into what those are.
300 hours.
So I haven't
Same.
done these in any specific order, meaning it's not like from most important to least important, but there are other ones that I think are more important than others. The first one is matchmaking fixes. There is a big problem with matchmaking in Elden Ring Nightreign. I feel like it's specifically aimed at two people. If you have one person, it doesn't seem like it takes too long to get into a game most of the time. If you have three people, you obviously
Yep.
don't need matchmaking, but when you have two people, for some reason, it feels like it's very difficult to get into a game. I've spent hours and hours and hours trying to find a third person when there are two of us in a group, whether we're in a party or we're using our own password
right there.
trying to get a random
Two
third
eyes.
person. So I feel
Right
like
there.
there needs to be a bit of an overhaul on
That's what we
matchmaking
on.
in general
We don't
to
play
try
it
and make
that
people get into games
much because
faster.
we're playing Diablo
So the
right
next thing
now
on my
also.
list is relic sorting, or specifically
Okay,
better
yes.
filtering for relics.
Relics sorting
As you
is
gain
horrible.
more and more relics, this gets increasingly more difficult to do. And because of the coloring system in this game, you know, it can be really, really challenging to find a relic that fits the right color that you have. So there needs to be better filtering. You need to be able to filter by specific ones. If you know you
I
need
can see that.
stamina back
What are
on
some
attack,
of the
you should
stuff
be able
that
to
y'all
filter by
want
that bonus and seal
if
the
y'all
ones that you
play
have and
Elden
pick the
Ring?
best one that fits your build for that color. There should be a way to sort by that filter or very, very specific filters. And as this game advances and gets more relic bonuses, which I'm sure is going to happen over time, this is only going to become more and more true. The next thing that I would love to see is more characters.
I mean, of
there
course,
are currently
they're gonna
8
put
characters
some
in the
more.
game,
They're gonna
and
put
it
more
feels like it's
characters.
too little at the moment. I love
I feel
all
like
the characters
that's-
in this game. I play all of them. I rotate through all of them depending on what I feel like playing.
I feel like that's
And
a
I
no-brainer.
absolutely love the characters that are there, but I do feel like
feel
this
like
game could
that's gonna
benefit from
come.
about 4 to 6 more characters.
Two things I know for a fact that's going to come. Well, three things really. More relics. Four things. Dang. More relics, more bosses, more characters, more maps. All
I feel
that
like
stuff
it would
is
make
going to
the
happen.
variety of
But I want the iconic bosses from Elden Ring
Gameplay
or
shape.
iconic bosses from past FromSoft games. Put them in the
a lot
game.
more, and would also provide some synergies between characters.
I know people be
that
like,
aren't-
"Oh, we already fought them," but like people that have never played Elden Ring before is playing this now because they get to play with some of their friends. And they will never get to experience fighting Raihan, got dang Mikolai, all them. They won't get to experience that.
Not present in the game. So I would definitely want to see more characters. We know this is coming. They've already announced this, but it's absolutely something I think make this game have more
See?
legs over the long term. The next thing that I would love to see in this game is starting weapon choices or spell choices. Currently, each
Okay.
character has one weapon
never think
or
about
one
that.
seal or staff that they begin the game with that have specific spells. and a specific weapon with, you know, a starting skill on it. I would absolutely love to see more starting weapon choices and spells for these characters.
Yeah.
Like, you know, if you're playing Guardian, maybe you want to start with a spear instead of a halberd, or maybe you want to start with a longsword, or maybe you're playing Wilder and you want to start with an axe, or maybe you want to start with a straight sword. There should be some variety in the starting weapon that you can start with, and it can even be unlocked after like lots and lots of time. Like maybe it costs 50,000 mark to unlock a potential choice of weapon. Maybe there could be multiple ones. But I do think it would improve the variety of gameplay and also give people like a little bit more flexibility in the way they play each character. If you could choose a starting weapon from a list of starting weapons, or even have spell choices for your Recluse and your Revenant at the beginning, so maybe they could use a different spell that they like. And sort of piggybacking off this a little bit, if they don't go that route, or even if they do, I would love to see at least one relic bonus that gives you an improved chance to acquire weapons of X type, or maybe spells of X type if you're playing a spellcaster. Okay. This would allow you to more reliably gain the weapon type that you want for your build. For instance, if you're playing Wilder and you know you want to use Greatsword.
When I switched to Allstate, I saved hundreds. My old insurance...
He typically has a higher chance to get a Greatsword anyway, but this could further improve that. Or maybe you want to play your Guardian with a thrusting sword, and you just want to have a better chance to get thrusting swords on your Guardian. I do feel like that option, being able to take up a Guardian slot with that, could be really, really strong, and would also
maybe I just need
make, you know...
It's so hard for me to play a Guardian because I can't... He dodges so slow. He doesn't move when he dodges. He just does the little step back. Maybe he's just more for a shield, but I can't fight with him.
Stable builds in this game. And kind of, again, a little bit related to this, I would love to see more relics with different starting skills. There are maybe, a couple dozen starting skills that you can get at the moment, or like 18, something like that. And I really think the game could benefit from even more. I think it would allow players to create builds more reliably that they can carry through the game. So I would absolutely love to see more starting skills possible. And the next thing that I would love to see is rerolls on relic bonuses.
Okay.
Like, a lot of games out there, a lot of ARPGs have mechanics where, if you get a random weapon drop and it has a bonus that you don't like, you can reroll it using some currency to try and get the bonus that you want. I think that would absolutely benefit this game. It's not necessarily a mechanic that I really love in general, but because how the variety of relics that you get in this game is completely random, it doesn't feel like it's weighted at all in terms of like the character bonuses and things like that.
And I feel like it's
I maybe have like one perfect relic or two.
That's what I'm saying. I feel like it's some relics that are completely pointless. Like it'll have like that one had one strength.
Perfect relics in the 300 hours I've played this game. And you need perfect relics for each character if you're planning to play more than one character. So I would really love to see, instead of getting Merc for deconstructing relics or selling those relics, I would love to see a separate currency that as you accumulate, you can try.
Or maybe we can roll the relics that don't even have, like, we have an empty relic and roll some random stuff on the relic. That would be cool too.
To re-roll certain relic bonuses
or empty slots on a relic. Let us get a random spot on a relic.
But that way you could
make that relic
into a perfect relic if you played it long enough, which I think would be great. The next thing I would love to see is obviously more bosses and more boss variety. I'm not only talking about more Night Lords. We obviously need more Night Lords in this game. I love the event Night Lord idea, like a souped up version of bosses. That's great. I think there needs to be even more challenging bosses in the future. Or, in continuing on with these events, maybe making, like, even crazier ones, like double bosses or something like that. But I also want to see just more bosses in general added to, like, everyday things. At this point, it's, like, getting really kind of stale in terms of the boss variety. Like, if you've played 300 hours, admittedly, it's 300 hours, it's going to start to feel stale. That's a lot of game time, though. But if you added other bosses from Elden and other bosses from the Souls games into the mix, it would mix this up. We know this is coming. This is not something that's not coming. But this is something the game would absolutely benefit from, and I think would make the game much better. The next thing is, I would love to see either a new map, or maybe 2 new maps, or something that changes.
We already know that's coming.
Like, the maps right now, like, don't change so much, even with the different, like, events that can happen, or the shifting Earths that can happen. You've kind of got it, like, taped out at this point if you've played a ton and you're still playing this game. So I think if there was a way to randomize this more, or if there was simply another map that was new that took, 100, 150 hours to learn, that would be great. or maybe a couple of maps, that would add more variety to the game so that you just didn't have it all memorized. The next thing I would like to see is I would like to see dormant powers and talismans added to the testing area in Roundtable Hold so that you could test synergies and see what works with what things. Like, what dormant powers affect what spells and what skills and what weapons, I think is a huge part of this game. And it's very hard, the way that it's currently set up, to test all these things, because you have to rule things out, and you have to go out on many runs with like trying to pick the exact same rewards in the exact same setup, which is very difficult to do because of the randomized nature of the game. So to have these things in the testing ground and be able to see what the synergies are and what works, I think would go a long way for people to better understand the mechanics of the game. Next is new skins and better Merc rewards. It feels like the Merc rewards in this game are very lackluster. Like, the skins I love, I absolutely love the skins in the game. They need to add more, though, because they're just so cool. And there are tons of armor sets from Elden Ring, Dark Souls that they could add. That'd be amazing. So I hope they add more of those over time. But I want to see other things you can do with your Merc. Right now, it's like pretty much if you have the chalices for your relics, then you're basically just buying skins or you're buying random relics. That's basically your options. I hope they have other options to do with Merc. Again, you could potentially reroll relic bonuses would be something you could do with Merc as well. That would be great.
Yeah.
Another thing that I would like
more
them
things to do with that
is
currency.
add more landscape secrets, like hidden walls, illusory walls, other things that like you see once every 50 runs, every 100 runs, or something cool like this that breaks up the kind of staleness that you get from doing the game so many times. I want to see more events, more randomized things, and more secrets. I think that would go a long way to the staying power of this game, as people would be discovering things
more iconic bosses.
months and months from now that
bosses,
weren't there previously, or that they didn't know existed, and it would give you one of those moments where you're like, oh my god, that's so cool, and I would love to see more of that. The next thing is I would love to see weapons and spells from Shadow of the Erdtree added to the game, or from the Dark Souls games, or both. There are so many cool weapons from Shadow of the Erdtree that simply should be in this game, and spells as well, and the Dark Souls games have some just iconic weapons. Like, can you imagine like Quelaag's Fury Sword in this game or something like that? It would be so cool.
It would be
they
fire.
Already have the models for these things. All they got to do is get
exactly just put them in the game.
I would just really love to see those make it into the game at some point, or at least some of them, to just add even more variety to the game. And the last thing I want to see added is numerical pins, and I think this is one that would go a long way. I think the more and more you play this game, the more you start to realize that people have figured out how to communicate with the pins. But now what you see is like people pin. And if you don't have your map open when they're doing it, it just
like
seems like they're spamming a pin. But what they're trying to tell you is, let's go here, let's go there, let's go there after, and let's go there after. Imagine if you could have numerical pins that's like 1, 2, 3, 4, and you could drop them on the map. You could simply tell people this is the order. Maybe there was like lines between them, so it kind of created a route that you could communicate. That way, people
a lot of quality of life stuff.
Right now, it's not about where do we go next. Most people know where to go next. It's about where you go after that and where you go after that, and trying to communicate that. I think numerical pins would go a long way for that.
I definitely want more
bosses. Video on things I would love to see added to Elden Ring Nightreign. I really think this game has a lot of potential.
It has a lot of
would
potential.
have loved to see this be like a $60, $70 game with the amount of production value and investment that comes with a $60 or $70 game with more content. All I really feel like this game needs is
give me Millennia. Because she has never known defeat. I want my friends to fight the first boss that has ever made me break a controller, bro. The first boss that has ever made me break a controller. Please.
Couple quality of life changes, which I mentioned in matchmaking and relic sorting, etc. And then just
I don't know how Raihan, before he was nerfed on Elden Ring, put him in the game. I want to see my friends be like, oh my gosh, where did he go? And then they see a big old ball of flaming meteorite coming down, like Madara. When he dropped, it wasn't flaming, but
more content in general. It needs more content. And I can't wait to see what they do with it, because obviously they're going to be adding that. But I want to know from you guys, what would you love to see them add to Elden Ring Nightreign?
I gotta look at the comments.
6 months, year, 2 years, etc. And is there anything on this list that you don't want them to do? Do you not want them to add rerolls onto relics? Do you like the randomized nature? How random it is? You don't want to see that go anywhere?
Wait, is that right? That looks like Raihan right there. Below. The world? He's in here? It looked like him. Mikolai. I want to fight Mikolai. Like, what they saying in this comment? Relic Shrine, the training grounds. Okay. Ability to sell relics and reward clear numbers and bonuses and power ups. I think it's cool. NPCs to be there. Like run around. Help you fight. And frequency of those trolls throwing the giant magic pots from. Hey, them trolls do get on my nerves. Oh my god, just those trolls be. Them trolls, boy. Have an option in it. Expedition with unanimous vote would be nice. That's something. Okay, sometimes the room is yep. I think that's a good quality of life thing. Numerical pins, yep. Custom loadouts. Custom loadouts would be amazing. That's how I thought this game was going to be at the very beginning. With custom loadouts, but it's not. I quite like to change practice. Okay. Which is able to merge relics to pick the best. See, that'd be dope too. Merge relics and pick which one. Okay. I like to see way to upgrade each chalice. Okay. Okay. Yes. Give me more maps. I don't see nobody talking about crossplay. Definitely crossplay. Guys, crossplay. I got so many people on PlayStation and PC that I could play with. I didn't even think about crossplay. But I think I'm like the only person that wants to fight the iconic bosses. Because most of the people that y'all playing with, your friends, they probably play Elden Ring before, mine haven't. So they get to see and witness one of the best bosses ever. Some of the best bosses ever created. And in the DLC, please. But man, that was a quick little video of, you know, some stuff I want in Nightreign over the course of 2 years, and react to Fetch Your Life, man. Fetch Your Life is, shout out to them, man. Shout out to him. He's amazing. I remember he only had like 500 subscribers. He dwells in a lot of RPG games, man. Elden Ring, Diablo, Mortal Shell. You see Mortal Shell right there. Just a whole bunch of RPG games. Y'all should definitely check him out. But hope y'all enjoyed it, man. All his stuff seemed reasonable. I don't think it's anything I didn't want. That number 10 was probably the best one, I think. Yeah. Please like, subscribe if you're new. If you already did, if you already are, man. If you got any suggestions, put them in the comment. If not, then it's all good. We out.